people see disability before they see the person.
When you focus on someone's disability, you overlook their abilities, beauty, and uniqueness.
We are rather silenced and invisible.
Everybody is a candidate to disability.
Inamaanisha leo uko mzima mzima, kesho unaweza kuwa wewe ndio uko mlemavu.
The most difficult thing to be is we are disabled, both at birth and at any stage in life.
The nomadic lifestyle involves movement from one place to another in search of pasture and water. It is therefore a matter of survival for the fittest.
We want to move away from pitting the disabled people.
Disability is not a curse, it's not a choice.
We want to also develop an academy, a sports academy that actually only focuses on the disabled.
And when we do our planning, we want persons with disabilities to be at the center.
Nomadic Disabled Persons Organization, in short, Nondo, is the first disabled persons organization that advocates for the rights, inclusion, and participation of disabled persons from northern Kenya and other ASAL counties, particularly among the nomadic communities in all spheres of life. Nomadic communities are people who are always on move, and to have a disabled persons within that community is much more burden. You can imagine a family with a child with disability. In nomadic community, children are labor asset. So if you have a child with disability, that child will not offer that labor of looking after, camel, goat, and sheep. So you become or she become an extra burden. Say it as disabled person, we come together and say, what can we do? That's how the thinking of Nomadic Disabled Persons Organization was fashioned. And it became the first disabled persons organization to really exclusively advocate for matters disability in nomadic context. We do advocacy around critically 4 important areas. 1, governance, and then the other area is education, and then socioeconomic activities, and then fourthly on health. In all these 4 thematic areas, we have cross-cutting agendas. 1 is issues of gender. We believe women and girls with disabilities are double marginalized than men with disabilities. Child protection. Children with disabilities are much more vulnerable. We look at old age. Old age is a disability in itself, but someone with disability at an old age, that's already a double disability in itself. And then also because of where we work, issue of environment and peace and integration. Environment, why? Because in the nomadic communities, resources are scarce, and it's a moving population in search of elusive resource of pasture and water, and many times there are conflict over these resources, and these conflicts contribute to disability, and those with disabilities are again disproportionately affected.
Under governance, you see less women with disabilities are in politics. Why? Because they are not visible.
Disabled persons should be given a space to participate in all governance structures.
People don't think that it is important to educate women with disability because they don't see a future in them. So you find that so many women with disabilities are not so much educated in those areas.
We believe education is the only fighting chance for a child with disability.
We try to create awareness around education, We try to sensitize the parents with children with disability. We use the role models. We use women with disabilities who have achieved a lot.
We are running, a scholarship program, both in high school and also some student in university. So we identify them through, our network members, but we also give them mentorship, career guidance, and placement program. We believe disabled persons, if they are given opportunities, they can be as productive members of our society like anybody else. It's about giving them that opportunity to participate in economic activities within the laid down regulations and the legal framework in Kenya. We identify them, capacity build them around, generally making them to come together, talk to each other, talk with the stakeholders, and to access opportunities. Disability and health, somehow they intertwine. And how can we bring out strongly matters disability in the context of access to health care?
In health, women are most affected. What we try to do is to engage the health practitioners to just create a sensitization around health and women and disability, to make their places of health to be more accessible for women.
The Desert Wheel Race is a sporting activity, and it was started in 2012 in Cielo County. We felt the sport is a powerful instrument or tool that can bring communities together, different communities, different races. That's how powerful sport is. This event was fashioned by what happened to a friend who was part of the founding team of this organization nearly 50 years ago in Cielo. Different communities from his communities clashed, and they left about 8 members of his family dead. He was only 12 years old and a kid with a spear in his back, and he became paralyzed all his life using a wheelchair. And his story became an interesting story around which we can use as a way of bringing communities together. And we felt the best way is now to use this sport and to tell or to design, how disabled persons can be involved in peacemaking processes in the community.
And then from that narrative, Arun said, let's change the narrative. The idea of trying to make use of that event now to bring about peace among the communities.
Na hii event ya Desert Wheelchair Race, ndugu yangu Harun alipotuletea, tulisema tutaadapt kama FCDC calendar event ili kuhakikisha tunaimarisha iendelee kukua.
To this end, I'm really happy to say that Nondo has overachieved their goals, their own set goals, and this race is a great testimony of their efforts.
And we've patented it as another unique sporting derby in this country. And right now, because of its participation and popularity, is the biggest disability sporting event in Africa. And we want to develop it as another major competitive sports around the world. That matters disability can be told, and the story of disability can be packaged differently. Now this race, in the first 2 editions, women have not participated, but in subsequent edition, we have created participation of women, to participate from those communities. It's about bringing women and women with disabilities and girls with disabilities to get some prominence, to get some space, and to be freely talked about, whether it is, not only access to other opportunities, including reproductive health, family life.
Mara yangu ya kwanza kushiriki kwa Desert Race ilikuwa Kajiado, nikawa mshindi pale. Nikawa ni kama sasa mimi ni member. Hii kitu iko more fun because inaenda mbio, inafanya watu wanashangilia. Ukikuja kwa hii Desert Race, mbio ni moja. Na yote washindani ni walemavu. Class ni moja. Hatuna watu wengine tunabishana nao. So ninaweza sema Nondo Desert Race ndio mbio inatufaa sasa sisi kama walemavu, sababu ni yetu.
Desert Trail Race iko organized in that mkimaliza mbio yenu mnapatiwa award yenu na mnamalizia, lakini unlike hizi zingine,
Nondo imekuwa friendly kwa vile sasa specifically ni walemavu. Tena tunaona preparation yao iko safi.
Very nice.
We introduced last year fashion show. We call it the Desert Fashion Gala. It's about bringing women with disabilities and girls with disabilities to get some prominence, to get some space.
We wanted to tell the society, but we want to tell the world with their disabilities. They are attractive too. They are beautiful. We want to create visibility of women with disabilities.
That gives us the opportunity to showcase the different abilities and beauty that we have.
The Desert Release fashion show, they are concerned for women with disability first of all, and then the platform also give us a chance to go on and participate in the event. They have been coming up with designers. They are friendly to us. They look for a designer who can suit us. So you find that you are comfortable also.
We have a conference before the event. Now this conference is about now taking stock of the status of disabilities in our communities and in the countries where we work. Here we bring together stakeholders, all of them, to sit on the table, to talk about matters of disability, and each year to make certain commitment of what they need to do. If it is employment, if it's access to business opportunities, if it is healthcare, if it's education, whatever form.
The Constitution has given us a voice. If you look at the county assemblies, if you look at the national assemblies, if you look at the Senate, unlike other places, we have representatives of the disabled societies.
To be a benchmarking county for matters disability. We want to partner with other donors.
We'll make sure that such gains are enhanced and presidential directives that are there are put into law.
Jambo la walemavu mpaka tulitie kipaumbele. Tukia katika kikao cha magavana, issue ya walemavu imekuwa integrated ndani. Event hii kutoka sasa haitakuwa ya Isiolo, haitakuwa tu ya FCDC region ya Northern Kenya. Kutoka sasa it will be a national event, and we want to make it an international event starting next year.